Pulse. I am Lydia, your host, and today we're embarking on a thrilling journey to explore the fascinating world of Nigeria's national symbols with a special focus on the country's national bird and plants. Joining me in this exploration are three passionate conservationists. First of all, I have with me Oluwaseun.
Hi, I'm happy to be here.
Okay, next, Nathaniel Owolawi.
Hi.
And lastly, I have Toby.
Hi.
Alright, so let's hit the ground running. I'll direct this question to Nathaniel. Now, prior to the fact that you studied wildlife, that the eagle is not a national bird.
Now I do.
Alright, okay, so what about you, Yomife?
I think the same goes like Nat said. I didn't know. I thought it was the eagle. Even every time I saw it, I was like, oh, the eagle. And because even our footballers, they go with Super Falcons. I'm like, oh, eagle. So it was recently when I was conducting research with Young Conservationist Network, I realized that our official bird is not.
Okay, what about you?
Okay,
Toby?
I think everybody goes with that idea because we all grew up taking note of that. Like, okay, it's the eagle. We never knew there was another bird like the national bird.
Okay, so now the national bird is called the black crowned crane. Now, the black crowned crane has two subspecies. We have the West African black crowned crane, and you have the Sudan crowned crane. Now, for us, what we have here in Nigeria is the West African black crowned crane. Now, have you seen the animal before? Let's start on that note first. Please don't ask me before. Okay, all right. The crown crane bird, the black crown crane, actually symbolizes peace. Now, even though it's not on the national coat of arms, whereas we have the national plant, it's important that we actually educate people on what this bird is. Now, because if you ask any regular person, what do you think the national bird is? What does that come to your mind would be the eagle. However, that is not it. Now, and the crane birds, actually there are about 15 species of them, and we have one of the finest in Nigeria. Now, and it's not just peculiar to Nigeria that where you can also find the crane birds used by sovereign states for as a national bird. In Uganda, you have the green crown crane as a national bird. In South Africa, you have the blue crane as the national bird. The Japanese have the red crown crane as the national bird. While here in Nigeria, we have the black crown crane as ours. However, despite the fact that ours actually fall as one of the finest, it doesn't imply that the citizens are actually aware of these wildlife species, hence the importance of this conversation or this discussion around the black crown crane. Okay, so from studies from my personal research, I read that in the northern part of Nigeria, where this species is found, there are actually taboos in relation to this. How that if you capture this animal and you eat it, it is likely going to lead to insanity. And while that belief actually persists in the northern part of Nigeria, some other places in the world, they believe that the crane is actually a sign of what? Of good luck. Now, so that implies that, in a way, I would like to say that this taboo would actually help in as much as it's not true, well, that is not scientifically proven anyway. It's also going to help in the conservation of that particular animal, because if you believe that you're not supposed to eat this animal, then that means that you ought to have actually have a good population of that animal in view. So now next we're talking about the distribution of this species.
Alright, so while reading about their distribution, I found that they are mostly found in the northern side of the country, and some states where they can be found: Kano, Borno State, Jigawa. So you can find them in these areas. But like you said, they are threatened, so their population is no longer much, even though they are still. So they are majorly found in this side of town, like of the country, mostly in the northern side.
The crane bird first stay around areas where you have freshwater marshes, at the grassland, and because of its preference for aquatic bodies. Now, it shows out that it is dependent on the health of those aquatic bodies. So that means that if something is wrong, it's actually going to directly affect them, and it's found in the wetland areas. So that means that if we do not conserve these wetland areas that we have, it also implies that there is going to be population decline, and this can actually be a possible threat to these populations, because if, for example, you convert a wetland to an agricultural site where you get to plant rice, and these animals don't have a place of their own, then that means that we do what? Send them away from their home, and they are prone to all kinds of what? Anthropogenic activity, which would lead to their decline. So it implies that we also, now it shows that conservation effort is intertwined. That is, if I'm doing something in the sense that if I'm conserving, let's say, a national park, that I'm not just conserving it for conserving sake, because there are other things that are dependent on it. So if I don't get to conserve it, other bird species, other animals lose their habitat, and we don't get to see them anymore. And when we don't get to see them anymore, what we have is that we only get to see them in pictures, and it will be a thing of history that we used to have this particular species, but we no longer have it. And it's going to be a sad story if the national bird is no longer found in Nigeria. I mean, that is that's going to be so bad. Imagine if you say, okay, what's your national bird, and you can't find it, it's extinct in the wild. Then the feeding habits.
Okay, it's omnivores. Then it feeds on, as you know, omnivores, they feed on plant and flesh. So it feeds on grains, then little insects and little reptiles also.
Alright, so it's an omnivorous animal. It's a generalist feeder that feeds on all different kinds of species. You have grasses, seeds, insects, just as Toby has said. And usually the breeding season for these species started with the beginning of rain. So when you have rainfall, it's what? It's breeding season. That's just around about July to sometimes in October. When talking about the national bird, we've been able to see out that, first of all, there isn't much awareness about the fact that this animal is a national bird. Now, it is erroneously believed that because of the national coat of arms, then it is that the eagle is our national bird, because that's the first thing that you would readily get as a response from people. So now, should we also be looking at the possibility of changing the national coat of arms, pass that message across? What do you think, Nathaniel?
I don't know how feasible that is, with the fact that we have come all our life with the eagle. And the eagle is actually significant too.
Yes.
It's even taught at elementary class.
Yeah.
It's significant. But instead of change, I wouldn't maybe say change, but I think there should be more attention focused to this bird. It is our national bird. The eagle is not. It is our national bird. So there should be more awareness. Let people know that we have this. Let people be aware. Those places where it's still distributed, like the normal distribution, people around there, you will find it very surprising that they might even see it, but they don't know how significant the bird is to the and nation. In a place like Nigeria, where wildlife generally they are seen as bushmeat, and then it's serving as a protein source too. So I think if there's just awareness around it, we don't. To me, I don't know, but change. It's even very in a place like Nigeria, you can change it and the situation remains the same.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
No, but I think that if it is possible, because the reason why you have eagle in your head is because you have seen it over time. You've seen the national coat of arms. If you're, for example, you check our national seal, what you have is what? The eagle there on national coat of arms. So definitely that image has actually stuck over your head. That is why you know that it is what? It is the eagle. So that means that if we can have that, let's say from 1960 when the coat of arms was adopted till this age, that's over 60 years, it means that if we have, let's say, another 60 years of having the black crown crane as a national bird on the coat of arms, don't you think it's going to stick?
Yes, definitely it's going to stick. It's going to stick. But beyond sticking, we need to conserve this bird.
Alright.
So it's going to, yes.
But would you conserve something you don't know?
Would I conserve
something you don't know? Would you really be motivated to conserve?
I know, have I been conserving them? So this is Nigeria.
The whole essence of this conversation too is to motivate people to actually
get
take
involved. But yeah, but I think really it's not a bad idea if we have the black hand crane as maybe the way the eagle is on the coat of arms. If we have the black hand crane, yes, it will obviously increase awareness and all. But really beyond that, it is a very good step. Yes, like people even get to know the identity, the significance of this bird to us, and in a way, yes, it's going to promote the conservation of the species. So it's not a bad idea, but beyond just identifying or recognizing it, we need the conservation.
Alright, so what about you, Chill? What do you think?
Yes, I am of the opinion that the bird should be well known first before, because like we all said in the beginning, we didn't know about the black-crowned crane. We didn't know about it. We knew about the eagle all our lives. So if it's incorporated into maybe social studies, civic education, that way it would come to the awareness of people. And the change might not be total if we are going to change. It can be gradual. Maybe starting from maybe the things on the textbook, because for social studies and civic education, remember you have those pictures there. So if they can change it from there, then from our little signs even to the mace in the House of Assembly, it really make. But the first thing that should be done is to create awareness, let them know about this bird.
Alright, so now to the national plan, scientifically called Costus spectabilis, and it is known to produce 4 large fleshly leaves embedded on our national coat of arms.
Wow.
Yes. And now, who can tell me where it is located? Like Victoria Leo, where it is located on national coat of arms, please?
Let me guess.
Okay, where?
Like on the base.
On the base.
Yeah.
Because don't forget, it's called the yellow trumpet. Nathaniel, where is it located?
Where is it located?
Yes, on the Nigerian coast.
Now, so it should not be arboreal.
Exactly, you get it.
Oh my God! Where should it be then?
At the base now.
It should be at the base.
Yes.
I just think that the challenge with it is that while it is yellow,
Okay.
it is red on the coat of arms. So maybe that's a misrepresentation of I don't know the design behind the red. So I think it is red on the coat of arms. And then,
Maybe they didn't use yellow because it won't show very well. I'm just saying, I don't know.
Okay, what about you, Toby? What do you have to say to the fact that it's painted on red?
I don't know anything to say about that.
Because we're not the one that designed
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
It's erroneously painted, as you all have said, on the national coat of arms. It's painted as red instead of yellow. So sometimes it doesn't bring out that fact that it's called It's called the yellow trumpet. And you know, there's a fun fact about it. Now, what is the symbol? What does this symbolize, or why was it called national plant? Now, this is because it is believed it symbolizes what? The beauty of the nation Nigeria, its uniqueness and prosperity. So that is what it symbolizes. So whenever we see the national plant, what does it mean? The beauty of Nigeria, its uniqueness, and what? Prosperity. Now, I would actually say this from what I read, how that they said it is found even on reputable platforms online, how that some say that it is found all over the country, but I have not seen it. But other people of the other school of thought are of the opinion that it is actually threatened, and that it is they're actually looking at possible ways of planting this species or cultivating this species to ensure that it is still available. Do you understand? Now that shows how that when it comes to conservation of wildlife species, and especially of this kind that are of national importance, we actually need to take much more deliberate steps. The fact that I should be able to proudly say that this is my country's national plant. If I get to this particular place, I can do I can find it. As a wrap up on the national plant, at Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's wedding, where she chose to include flowers from all the British Commonwealth countries, actually she included the yellow trumpet to symbolize Nigeria.
Wow. So
it shows that if other people are actually taking this step and they are celebrating what we have, we also should actually do celebrate what we have. But we would always celebrate what we have when we actually do know about it.
And
that shows that that's the whole essence of this conversation, to educate the minds of people on what is available in the country and take favorable steps to want to get to know it. Now, on this note, I would like each of you to give a closing remark on what you think what you think can be a step forward for us when it comes to preserving our national heritage as conservation enthusiasts. So you start from Toby.
Okay, I think one of the things we can do is, the way people actually make this picture and frame like stuff, showing the president of the country, the governor of the country. I think we can also do something like that, showing the national plant of the country and stuff like that. I think it's going to promote it, because people want to have it in their house with that name, the national plant.
Okay. All right. So what about you?
All right. So like I said initially, we have to create this awareness. I have to start from the little things, and so we can incorporate it into the educational system. And aside from that, I think we even need to educate people on the causes, on why these species are threatened, so that they will know their role to play. Because conservation is not just by the conservationists, those the wildlifers, those studying renewable natural. It's for everybody, the people, the government, and everybody who are involved in this. So each and everybody should play a role in this and ensure that the environment is friendly for this species.
All right, Nathaniel.
I would still say against advocacy. People should know about this species. Many people don't know, and I foresee maybe a situation where when I was in primary school, we had this small booklet used to buy current affairs.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember that.
If you saw it in the current
I
affairs.
doubt it. I doubt. I don't know if
wasn't.
it's been updated, but I can't remember hearing anything about it.
And you have to read it to pass your common entrance.
Yes, have these things incorporated. It's just simple. National bird is name, national plant, and when children know it sticks with them forever.
Yes.
Exactly.
Children become adults eventually. And that's it.
All right, I want to thank each of you for sharing your expertise and knowledge on Nigeria's national symbol, and thank you, dear listeners, for joining us on this enlightening episode of On Conservationist Pulse podcast. Remember, by appreciating and safeguarding our national symbols, we contribute to preserving Nigeria's rich biodiversity. Until next time, stay connected with nature, stay curious, wanting to know more about your country, and keep your heart pulsing for conservation. Thank you very much.